I'm sorry for my bad pronunciation. You see my mistakes? I'm not used to talk to cameras, neither to people. Alcatraz Island is located in the city of San Francisco, near the... Say goodbye to the people. Alcatraz Island is located in the city of San Francisco, near the famous Golden Gate Bridge. Alcatraz began approximately from 1860 to 1930s. It was a military territory of the USA. The prison was built on an island and the nearest land was 1.5 miles away, and the average water temperature was 50 degrees and frequently visited by white sharks. The jail was mostly made of concrete, so they reinforced some buildings and built new ones. The prison was divided into blocks, A, B, C, and D for the worst prisoners. Each cell was 8 feet by 8.5 feet long and 4 feet wide, with a desk, a stool, a sink, a toilet, and a bed. Alcatraz was a prison exclusively for military prisoners, but it was not until 1930 that the mafia and the organized crime in the USA began to get out of control. It was the time when the consumption of alcohol was legal and the Italian mafia already had highly dangerous prisoners inside local prisons, and within their prison facilities they were organizing criminal missions. Until someone came up with the idea of locking all the prisoners in one place, which was in Alcatraz. Each prisoner was handcuffed and loaded into ships towards the island. When they arrived, they were stripped of all their belongings and given prisoner number. Then they made them walk naked down the Broadway hallway, making fun of the most famous street in New York, while prisoners mocked and humiliated the new prisoners. The cafeteria was a dangerous place for prisoners. It was where everyone was closest to each other and armed with only a fork and a spoon. They were more likely to suffer an unexpected attack without witnesses. Historical escapes. In total, 36 people tried to escape and 3 people successfully, or so it is believed. The most violent attempt was in 1946, the Battle of Alcatraz. Bernard Cole, leader of the mission of Battle of Alcatraz, he stopped eating in order to lose weight and able to fit between a slightly separate bars. The idea of the plan was to distract the guards and take the keys to the weapons warehouse, but they were discovered and the alarms were activated. There were a total of 2 police officers killed, 3 inmates killed, and 11 guards injured. The only people who managed to escape successfully were Frank Lee Morris and the Anglin brothers, Clarence Anglin and John Anglin. Frank, the brain of the group, realized that there was a small ventilation hole under the sink. Within 6 months they began collecting scrap metal and tools that will allow them to carry out their task. They also stole spoons from the dining room and an old homemade drill that they invented. Morris knew how to play the accordion to match the sound of the homemade drill. 6 months later, they managed to remove the ventilation grill that allowed them to pass to the maintenance hallway, where they created their workshop. To mislead the night guards, they created heads made of paper mache mixtures, soap, toothpaste, and brick dust, carefully painted with paint they got into the maintenance room and hair from the barbershop. They also made an inflatable boat with more than 50 unmissable jackets. The raft doors were improvised with some pieces of wood against veneer screwed to a stick, thanks to some designs that Maury found in a magazine called Popular Mechanics that he found in the St. Prison bookstore. The final escape began on June 11, 1962, without imagining at the time that they were going about to achieve a feat of such magnitude that their names will be endurance in everyone's memory for the rest of history. Without imagining, without imagining, without imagining, without imagining, 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 without imagining. Maury and the brothers managed to escape without a problem, climbing the ventilation duct to the roof of the prison. They removed the rivets from the fan that was placed there, at which time several wards declared they felt a loud noise. However, they were unable to hear anything further, and the source of the noise was never investigated. With their equipment under their arms, they slid 49 feet down another vent from the ceiling to the kitchen. From there, they climbed two perimeter fences almost 13 feet high, opening up to an area Tamori studied, a blind spot from the searchlights and wards. They approached to the water with their inflate the raft with a stolen concertina, an instrument similar to the accordion, which they had previously modified so that it could work as a bellows. At first they planned to go to the shores of San Francisco, but then that idea was discarded because of how obvious it was and how difficult it would be to escape from that place. In contrast, they set course towards Angel Island, which was 1 miles north of Alcatraz. Franklin and the Anglin brothers managed to escape by disappearing into the darkness of the night. Do you have questions?
Schools out forever.
Sí.